and dividing fractions is something that's very similar. So first I'd like to just show you a model of the reasoning behind the dividing the fractions. So let's take a color, let's do purple. Okay, so here I have 2 divided by 1/3. So I'm going to take 2 whole blocks that represent 2 wholes, and then I'm going to divide them by 1/3. So when you're dividing, what you really want to know is how many groups of 1/3 can I make with 2 whole pieces? Well, since I'm dividing it by thirds, this denominator is going to tell me how many pieces I need to separate each of my whole blocks into. So I'm going to separate them into 3 pieces each. Now, I need to shade in 1/3. Well, this is 1/3. This is 1 out of 3. This is another 1 out of 3. And so forth. This is another 1 out of 3. Another 1 out of 3. And another 1 out of 3. So therefore, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1/3 that I can fit in 2 whole blocks. Now I'm going to prove this to you and show it to you the mathematical way. So here we have 2. Well, 2 is a whole number. Let's change it to a fraction, and we do that by putting it over 1. We change our division sign to multiplication. And then I see this 1/3 fraction. You want to multiply by the reciprocal, or the reciprocal also means kind of the opposite. Well, the opposite of 1/3 is, if I flip it, is 3 over 1. Now, our multiplication rules tell us that we need to multiply our numerators across. So 2 times 3 equals 6. And then we multiply our denominators straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. Well, 6 over 1 equals a whole 6. And that is also what we got here. So that is the answer for that. I would like for you to try to practice B, and pause this video right now for 1 second and practice B. Then I'm going to do B as well, and you can check your answer and see that you got it correct. Okay, pause it now. Okay, so you pause the video, and hopefully you are able to do B correctly, and you should show this on your paper. I'm going to model it for you. So here I have 4 divided by 1/2, so therefore I have to have 4 whole blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sorry that they are not very equal sizes. So it's telling me that we're dividing it by half. So I have these 4 whole numbers, and I want to see how many groups of 1/2 can I fit when given 4 whole numbers. Well, since it's a half, it's 2 pieces. My denominator over here is going to tell me how many pieces to break each one into. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now I have to represent 1/2. That's 1 out of 2. If I were to highlight this part, this would also be 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2, 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 and 1 out of 2. Well, how many groups of halves have we created now? We've created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you haven't done the mathematical way of doing this, I suggest you pause the video and try it now. I will show that right now. So here we've got the 4. I'm going to rewrite it. 4 over 1 is the fraction form of a whole number. Change my sign to multiplication and multiply by the reciprocal, or some of you may notice as keep, change, flip. Okay, so our rule says when we multiply straight across. 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 times 1 is 1. And another way of writing this, or a more proper way of writing this, is just the number 8, which we showed with the models before. So therefore, 4 divided by 1/2 equals 8.